Today.
Good morning, Montana. I'm Jason Erst. As you pour your coffee and make breakfast, let's get you prepared to take on your Wednesday. Coming up over the next half hour, with Missoula's Johnson Street shelter closing, the city is encouraging residents to become a housing advocate. What that means. Plus, the Gallatin County Commission takes a stand over federal cuts impacting U.S. Forest Service employees, a message they are sending to Montana's congressional delegation, and the potential economic impact a new popular fast food restaurant will bring to the mining city.
Well, the time is at 6:30. We are starting out with some wet roadways this morning. Northwest Montana, you have both rain and snow. Snow mainly confined around the Essex-Marias Pass area. MDT reporting snow-covered and icy conditions. Right now, it's 36 in Kalispell, 34 in Missoula, 28 currently in Butte, 30 for you in Bozeman. We do have a couple of showers that are going to try to pass through right through west central Montana, including the Missoula and the Bitterroot Valley. But again, best chance of rain today will stay in and around Kalispell. Into the afternoon, 48 at 2 p.m. today in Missoula. If you're hoping to see some sunshine, there's not going to be much. Just like the past couple of days, we're going to be stuck under some cloud cover for southwest Montana. Mostly cloudy for you at around lunchtime. Then into the afternoon, clouds rolling in. Temperatures, they're going to be in the mid-50s. Now, the next couple of days, we're going to stay in the mid-50s, but we're tracking a drop in temperatures with a cold front. We'll track our next weather maker in 10 minutes.
The city of Missoula is encouraging community engagement following the announcement the Johnson City Street Shelter will close. NBC Montana's Jacob Owens takes us inside the group they are highlighting.
Missoula's Housing Advocate Network. It's an effort based behind me, made up of everyday people helping others with housing. It's a group the city is encouraging residents to join to help the homeless community amid news the Johnson Street Shelter will be closing. The program is part of the Missoula Interfaith Collaborative, supporting people who are currently or close to becoming homeless.
I'm walking alongside them through the ups and downs as they navigate barriers and uncover resources, and just kind of build some motivation and hope in folks that maybe you're hearing no a lot or feel like they're just never going to reach that finish line.
Volunteers like Frank Reed support individuals trying to reach the finish line of stable housing. He explains the network is not supplying houses, vouchers, or grants. Advocates provide something else.
We do have the ability to work with people and connect with them as their neighbors and give them a friend in an environment that isn't always totally friendly.
Reed says advocates help individuals with applications and discover barriers. These can include not having a phone, email, or lacking picture ID. Camfield says the network supports 650 people per year with roughly 80 volunteers. He says adding another 20 to 40 volunteers could make a difference in helping the guests at Johnson Street figure out what's next.
It puts a strain on the people that are facing this housing dilemma, and it puts a strain on the community to stand up and engage, recognize that this really is a community-wide problem, and there's lots of different ways that people can be involved.
The Advocate Network is hosting a new volunteer orientation Wednesday night at 5:30 p.m. For more information, visit our homepage at nbcmontana.com. Reporting in Missoula, Jacob Owens, NBC Montana.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture released a new statement saying probationary employees fired as part of the Trump administration's efforts to curb spending will be temporarily reinstated beginning today. On March 5th, the Merit Systems Protection Board ordered the USDA to reinstate those employees, issuing a 45-day stay. Meantime, the Gallatin County Commission approved a resolution Tuesday denouncing U.S. Forest Service layoffs and other federal agency staff reductions. Commissioners proposed the resolution with residents voicing support.
You're going to lose a lot of corporate knowledge there because you just can't hire somebody in, especially for fire management and that sort of thing.
I think we all need to come together here and oppose what's going on. And I would like to see as much pressure as we can put on our congressional delegation.
Commissioner Jennifer Boyer says the Custer-Gallatin Working Group came together to submit a public letter to urge Montana's congressional delegation to restore funding and programs. She adds cuts will affect watershed planning, fuel reduction, wildland interface planning, and more. Commissioner Zach Brown has a sharing input.
listen to the call of your constituents who would like this to be done right and done better and done respectfully. And ultimately, we need people to manage our public lands and our trails and mitigate fire risk across the Custer-Gallatin National Forest.
And we will continue to follow this story and bring you updates. President Trump has imposed new higher taxes on some goods brought into the United States. They kicked in at midnight, and the new tariffs follow another down day on Wall Street. Now the president has taken the first steps toward dismantling the Department of Education, slashing about half the department's workforce. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
This morning, major cuts to the Department of Education, with the announcement nearly half its staff, roughly 1,300 career employees, will be out of a job. Education Secretary Linda McMahon called it eliminating bureaucratic bloat and a step toward President Trump's ultimate goal.
This directive to me clearly is to shut down the Department of Education.
That would require an act of Congress, though the president has talked repeatedly about leaving school policy to the states, setting off alarm among many parents like Lindsay Latham, who worries about losing federal oversight and grant funding for special education services children like her son Calvin rely on.
To make sure that their kid is being treated fairly and given the opportunity to learn like any other kid. If we go backwards, we are going to see such a regression in the most vulnerable population.
Secretary McMahon saying the department will still deliver on special education funding and other statutory programs. From nervous parents to rattled markets, Wall Street saw more losses Tuesday as another bout in the Trump trade war takes effect today. 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from around the world, hitting Canada hardest, though the president dropped a threat to double the metal tariffs on Canada because of a 25% electricity surcharge Ontario's premier imposed before both sides backed down. Amid the uncertainty, President Trump rejecting growing concerns about a possible recession.
I don't see it at all. I think this country is going to boom.
Adamant his sweeping tariffs will strengthen the U.S. economy. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
All Montana Motor Vehicle Division exam stations will be closed Thursday through Sunday. This as MVD and all county treasurer's offices are launching a new vehicle services system. The system will be launched on March 17th and will help improve services. A Fil A restaurant is coming to Butte. A developer of the popular fast food chain visited Butte on Tuesday, stating the restaurant will be going in at the new Cornerstone Plaza by the airport. The restaurant will provide between 80 to 120 jobs when it opens later this year or in early 2026. The site will feature 2 drive-through lanes. The Harrison Avenue South Urban Revitalization District Board approved the request from the developer to provide a $450,000 reimbursement over 5 years to assist with public improvements to the site.
So we're working through the permitting process with the city.
Yep.
And in development, landlords working on the grading of the site to get ready to hand over to us.
The Fil A development comes at a cost of $5.4 million. Wright says it will be locally owned and operated. Groundbreaking is expected in late spring or early summer. We now visit with Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster, who is standing by. And Brooke, it is that time for your bus stop forecast. So for some kids, dry, but for others, maybe not so much.
You're right. I mean, kiddos in Kalispell, we're going to need the rain gear. That's where we're starting out with some scattered showers. We're going to keep it in the forecast off and on throughout the day. Now, Missoula, we could see an isolated shower or two, but for the most part, I think the bulk of the day in the Missoula Valley is going to be dry. You're looking live. You can see drops of rain there on our Sportsman Ski House weather camera this morning in the Flathead Valley, southwest Montana. Different story. We are starting out with dry skies this morning in the southwest corner of the state. So kiddos in and around the Butte-Bozeman area leaving the rain gear at home. Once we get into your Thursday, we're tracking a cold front's going to bring some gusty wind and a change to snow. We're talking snow accumulation coming up in about 10 minutes.
Coming up, we are in a basketball state of mind. Who is playing for a Big Sky Men's Championship? Grizz and Bobcats highlights. Did they win and advance? Plus, on the women's side, it's an all Treasure State final in the Big Sky Tournament. We preview today's title game, hear from both teams. First, let's take a live look over Missoula above TV Mountain at Snow Bowl from the Community Medical Center weather camera. Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster has your day planner right after the break.